Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm my husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Today we're reviewing Ready to Love, season number 8, episode number 1. Some says episodes is season number 9. I count the pilot, so to me it's episode number 9, season number 9, episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's get started.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go ahead and get started? It's in Dallas, Texas this time.
That's right. Thank you.
It's in Dallas, Texas. They're in Dallas, Texas. Nephew Tommy has gone 4 hours down the road to Dallas, Texas. We know he's from Houston, and they have 18 singles, 9 men and 9 women, and they're in Dallas, Texas, back in Texas for Ready to Love.
Yep. So, of course, they always start with the mixer at the mansion, and so we see the participants coming in. First, we are introduced to Chris. Chris is 39. He's a construction developer, and he's of Nigerian descent. I like that he was like, he's of the royal bloodline. I said, okay, royal bloodline. But next we see Jessica come in. She's 37. She's a coffee line owner. Then there's Philip, who's 41. He's a supply chain analyst. And then there's Aries, 43. She's a software sales manager. And then I keep wanting to say this. It's Tequila.
It's Tequila.
Not tequila.
Not tequila. Tequila.
Tequila. She's 35 and she's a marketing assistant. We see how Bibi is 33 and he's a saxophonist. Let me pause right there. Okay. So he's a saxophonist. He's got a Gutra. Yeah. I think that's how he said it. That's what he wears. He lived in Dubai. He's lived in Dubai for the past 4 years.
Right. And everyone has
doing his music
match.
and everything. And he just fell in love with the Arab culture. And so he wears a Gutra. Okay.
And the women love him because he plays saxophone.
Supposedly.
According to him.
Let's see. While I'm right there, he said the problem with him, why he hasn't found anybody, is because he's kept choosing music. He's been choosing music, and so he his thing is, okay, so are you gonna stop choosing music? He says, no, I need to find a lady who's gonna accept it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna stop choosing music.
I'm gonna find a lady to accept it, which I'm not mad at him. This is his job. This is what he does. So accept the fact that I play saxophone. Accept the fact that I'm a musician. You know, you probably met me because I played saxophone, and I'm a musician. Don't change me.
The other thing I want to mention with Habibi, he's got he has one son. He's 7 years old, and he knew his mother for 11 days before she got pregnant.
Yeah, that lets you know what's going on there.
The saxophonist. Okay, next we got Sierra, who's 33. She's a stylist and a personal stylist, like clothing stylist. And she's never been married before, and she's never been engaged, and we know she's from New Orleans. She mentions that.
Yep.
We have Leanne, who's 49. She's our oldest participant, but she looks darn good. She looks good.
She looks good for 49.
She looks good.
She does. Working out all the time.
She's a gym owner, and she's a Gemini. She do that in there. Then we meet Herbert. Herbert is 37. He's an aviation manager. He's also never been married before, and he's a Libra. A couple of them have conversations about zodiac signs, so that's where that's coming in at. Then we meet Marvin, who's 41, and Marvin is an erotic author.
And he's a dominant.
But he's also a sensual dominant.
Dominant. BDM. That's what he's into.
And so I found out it wasn't Candy that had the dungeon. It was Marvin. Marvin says, now I meet a girl, bring her to my dungeon in my house. He said, I might present as conservative. Often I present as conservative. You wouldn't know I'm an erotic author, that I'm into domination, being dominant. And he got a dungeon.
You got a dungeon. Some people into that, so I don't knock it.
I don't want to jump ahead, but a lot of the ladies was like, then we meet Unique. Unique is 31. She's a TV and film producer. She's also a country girl. She loves horses.
Yeah.
Then we meet Janelle. Janelle is 41. She's a creative director. And one of the conversations that she had is when it comes to kids, she would like to adopt a child because she was adopted.
Yeah.
At 6 months old. And so she wants to like pay it forward and she would like to adopt it.
And everybody's feeling Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
All the men are feeling Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
She good personality, good looks. They're feeling her.
Before we actually meet the other participants, Tommy comes in and he tells me, you want to get to know everybody, explore options, talk to people, mix and mingle. That's what this is about. So then we see Quentin. Quentin is 33. He's a personal trainer. We see Kira. Kira is 30. She's a realtor. And then we meet Red. Red is 42. And he's a DJ and a comedian. Apparently a very popular DJ comedian in that area.
In that Dallas area.
And the one thing about him is, again, they're having conversations. He's got 2 boys. They're 8 and 12 years old. Then we meet Brandon. Brandon is 36. And he works for the, I forget what the title, but he works with the railroad company.
Yeah.
I can't remember what, I think I wrote it down later, but what his actual title is. But here's the thing about Brandon.
Oh, boy.
Brandon's got 4 kids. Brandon was married before. Him and his wife got divorced. They were divorced for 6 months.
6 months.
Then he married her again. They tried to work it out for the kids, try to put their family back together. And the second time they were married for 3 years. And so now he's divorced again.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
6 months removed from his divorce.
Yeah. And I said that out of order. I don't know how long they were divorced before they remarried.
Right.
But now he's been divorced for 6 months.
Divorced for 6 months. And he's ready to love. And he's ready to love. Yeah. Too soon.
So Kira, she doesn't have any kids. She's been dancing since she was 3. She's a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Boo. Boo. We don't like the Cowboys. But anyway.
Not at all.
We see a conversation between Tequila and Philip. Okay, so what's important to you? She was like, how when they have a conversation is how a person heals. Philip says, Tequila talks about the fact that she's a Christian. How do you feel about sex before marriage? And he was like, yes. Have you had a threesome? She's like, no. And he was like, she says, what's the craziest place you've had sex? And he was like, me in a sex club. Sex club. Now I know she asked the question, but she absolutely didn't expect that answer. So of course she gave him a bombastic side eye.
But look, you ask a question knowing that you may get a crazy answer.
No, I guess yeah, but
like,
you don't think crazy like that.
And he was honest. He didn't lie.
He didn't, but
he was like, "This is where I haven't had a threesome, but I have had it in the sex club though."
Bombastic side eye. And
she was rattled.
He felt like she gave him the cold shoulder after that. Probably so.
She was rattled. She didn't know what to do.
No. We see a conversation between Quentin, and then we also meet Lee. Lee, who is 34. She's a health and fitness coach. Quentin used to play football, and he's a personal trainer. His last relationship was a year ago. For Lee, I believe she had 7 years
between relationships.
Yeah. She was in a 7-year relationship
right
before the last one. Her mom, they talk about marriage and like, would you want to be married or whatever? And she was like, well, her mom's been married since she was 15
years old.
And her parents have been together ever since.
Mm-hmm.
His parents and grandparents have been married for long time as well. So they're very much proponents of marriage.
Family, deep-rooted marriage. Once you get married, you stay married type deal.
The one thing about Quentin is he's actually got a tattoo on his ring finger.
Yeah.
Matching his ex-girlfriend's. But they didn't end up getting married. So just
it's like a little heart, right? I remember it was like being like a little,
I think so.
like a little heart. But hey, there's a lot of people that got here tattoos and they married a person. I thought about they did get married. I thought about Stasha and Nate, different show, Married at First Light. They got that married at first sight. They got that tattoo together, and they didn't stay together. It's like you might want to see if you stay with a person a long time before y'all start getting tattoos with names and all that stuff on there. You got to go back and get it covered up. That's like double pay. It's double.
Yeah. They talk about like how many kids do you want. He was like he wants 3 kids. She said she wants 2. They could work something out. She would work something out.
I always thought it was early talking about kids on the first. I know it's fast and accelerated, but you just met this person like a couple hours ago. Y'all talking about kids.
I mean, you talking about everything, so might as well. Then we meet Marie, who's 36. And he's an entrepreneur. We find out he's got a son.
Yes.
He talks about his dad, how he was really close with his dad. He actually got choked up when he was talking about it because his dad passed away the previous year. And so he said he gets everything from his dad. And so, when think about his dad, he wants to be as good of a father to his son as his dad was to him.
Yeah. And he want to make sure everybody, he wants to keep the legacy going. He want to make sure the family's tight and close. And so he loves his son because he talked to, I can't remember who he was talking to on the bench. They were talking about their Aries, about how he's raising men, he's raising his son for women later on in life. He's teaching them how to be a man now, so he'll make some woman happy.
And Leanne was chatting with him, and she was like, she liked him, but he's a little vertically challenged to her. But she talks about the fact that her parents are living, but they're divorced. She talks about how the fact that she has some dogs. She had 2 dogs, and she had to put them down not too long ago. So.
Yeah, but what she did do is when he was talking about his dad dying, she didn't say, "Oh, my condolences. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear about that." She was cold. It was like, "Ooh, that's cold," and that turned him off. At least when somebody say, "Oh, my parent died or grandparent died," I say, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry." You do some kind of gesture. She did nothing, and that Moyer was like, "I'm done."
Yeah. We see Janelle had a little conversation with Herbert. She was interested in Herbert, who's the aviation manager, and he was feeling her too. Both of them have never been married. He wants kids. How many kids do you want? He says as many as the good Lord allows. Okay.
Yeah, that clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
So then we see, is it Herbert? Who did I say? Oh, this is when we get to the point where the guys have to figure out
who they get eliminated. Tommy comes.
My handwriting is
Tommy comes out and he tells the guys, "Look, you're gonna make it. We got 2 people gonna be eliminated tonight, but it's you guys are gonna talk about who you feeling. Who do you like? Who you feeling?" And everybody said they was feeling Janelle. Everybody said they was kind of feeling who was the other person everybody was feeling? Everybody like Aries. And Kyra, they call her white boots because she had them thigh-high white boots on. Dallas Cowboy cheer boots. They talked about her. Tommy even called her boots. They didn't know her name.
Oh yeah, he called her boots.
White boots. So they was telling Tommy who they were feeling.
And so they're not feeling Tequila, Unique, Sierra, and Leanne. And so when it came down to it, it was Tequila and Leanne. And this is Leanne, that pretty 49-year-old lady, the oldest lady in the group.
Correct.
It came down to the 2 of them, and Leanne gets eliminated. Tequila comes out of this. She says, I feel played. I feel like the guys was feeling me,
No.
After she found out she was safe, and she was like, what happened? Why did y'all put me in the bottom? She said she's been genuine and open with everyone. And Marie is very encouraging. Just, like, do you boo? Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. I don't see nothing wrong. you know, and she was like, I really appreciate that because she was like crying.
She was, and here come the devil from, Habibi comes in and he throws his 2 cents in. He said, to me, he's praying, right? And I ain't talking about PRAY. He praying on the weekend's link. Like, let me see if I can connect with this young lady here and see if I can scoop in. He seemed like he's the guy that be lurking in the dark, waiting for you to break up with your girlfriend. And he slide in with some quick words like, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" Like,
and she like fell for it, hook, line.
She fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. She ain't sift through anything. She had no discernment or none of that stuff. He knew what he was doing. He prayed on the week.
Yeah, she said, elimination time like really triggered her. It kind of took her back, like, okay, like on some what's wrong with me, type of thing. And she said, sitting talking to Habibi like she was feeling him or whatever. And then he'd be asking stupid questions though. He was like, I think she said her ex cheated on her. And he says, well, would you cheat on your ex with me? And she was like, yeah, I absolutely would. I was like, what
kind of foolishness is this? Like, you really like what kind of, both of y'all just foolish right now.
We see Brandon chat with Lee. And he shares with her his marriage situation, was married, got divorced.
He's open, he's telling everybody. Mm-hmm. He didn't lie about nothing. He's open up and letting folks and not leading anybody on.
And he said, even though I was married to her and it didn't work out, and tried it again, it didn't work out. He said, I still want to be married again. I haven't given up on that. Right. And in the conversation with Lee, in the end, Lee was like, I don't really see no connection here. I'm like, nah. Then we see Red and Unique having a chat before. They think maybe they've met each other before. Because they're kind of in the same kind of industries. Like, where did I meet you?
Entertainment.
They talk about the fact that he's divorced. That there is a stigma when it comes to his lifestyle, being a DJ and a comedian. And
here we go.
He feels like being in that career field, it kind of implies that he's not a family man, but he is. And she was like, oh yeah, because you got a thought job.
A thought job.
He said a thought job.
Yeah.
Did you just say that? A thought job?
You have women who just don't. Yeah, y'all know what thoughts are all day long.
He was like automatically turned off, like.
But not only was he turned off, he was a lot of hot because he ended up calling her. He called like, wait, said we in the same circles. Then your thought. She was like, hold on for a minute. I ain't no thought. And you can tell now that Red and Unique are not going to get along whatsoever.
They still ain't figured out where they know each other from.
They haven't figured out where they know each other, but I can tell you one thing: they won't get along. You can't call a woman a thought or call a man he has a thought job.
Yeah, he was like, we work in the same field, so I guess that make you.
Yeah, he took that thing personal. He was warm for that thing.
So then we see Tommy have a chat with the ladies, try to figure out who they're feeling and who they're not. And the ladies are feeling Quentin, they're feeling Marvin, Chris, Philip, Marie, and Herbert. Who are they not feeling? They're not feeling Red, Brandon, and Habibi. Janelle calls him, he just comes like an entertainer. You just trying to entertain everybody, and just.
And he's a chameleon. Whatever you want him to be, that's what he is. Mm-hmm. Whatever he thinks you want to hear, he's going to say it. Whatever kind of movement you in, he's going to try to be there and be what it is.
Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to elimination time, Brandon and Habibi are in the bottom, and that is where episode 1 ends.
Yeah, that's where episode 1 ends, with Habibi them and Brandon in the bottom. Look, I know who I think is going to go home. Mm-hmm. I know who's going to go home, but we'll see. Let us know what you thought and what you think in the comment section below. Leave a comment. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. What was your thoughts of episode 1 of this season of Ready to Love? They're in Dallas. Let us know what you thought. Hey, hit us up.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.